Typical Don scene. He's got pallets of stuff, so I didn't know if we were looking left or right. He points to this one on the left, and it's a bunch of vintage tin work. Looks like it's an old Ford or something. The thing behind the pile of stuff is a C-cab. It's a really early Ford truck. It's really old, and I think it's cool. So this thing is like 92, 95 years old,
Yes.
something like that? Wow. This thing doesn't even have rust, man.
The cab is basically really straight, no rust, has a lot of potential. As old as it is, it's in pretty darn good shape. I've got the frame for it, got some of the fenders.
Oh, wow.
Yes, this is what started this whole idea.
This whole thing started with Don finding this manual hand crank. It's a tow truck winch. It's dated like 1930 or something.
Well, that winch has been sitting in storage for 33, 34 years now. I always thought it'd be really cool to have a vintage tow truck, basically to move stuff around here on the compound. I don't have a boom for it, so maybe that's where your magic can come in, is putting this stuff together.
Don's missing everything mechanical. He's got a mechanical hand crank winch. He just needs everything else.
Oh, heck, that truck's missing a whole bunch of stuff. It doesn't have a motor, it doesn't have a transmission, it doesn't have a drive shaft, it doesn't have front and rear suspension. I mean, it doesn't have a steering column. It is absolutely a basket case of parts with a whole bunch of parts missing.
If we could find a rolling chassis, then it's like just mount this body on there and, you know, do it kind of hot rod style. Don and I have been working together for such a long time. He's thinking, hey, anything's possible. And it really is, because I know that Don's got the parts. Somewhere in this property, he has everything we need to make this happen. Don's got this 1-ton dually just sitting there. The way I see it is this is a huge upgrade from 1919. This is like 1969, you know, it's like way more developed. This truck is gonna drive like Henry Ford never imagined.
But I think it's a little bit, the cab's too small for this.
I think this could work, man. I don't see why not. I mean, if we have to cut that cab or do something to this frame, it doesn't matter back here, it's a utility bed. It's just that that nose of the cab is so narrow in the front, we might have to do something.
And the frame looks straight. It doesn't look like it's been tweaked or...
I think it's a good start, man. Get this cab out of the way and let's get it inside and lay it out. Even though we got a bunch of cool pieces to work with, it's still just a pile of parts, a cab, and a chassis. As I see it, the task here is gonna be getting all these pieces together and just making one unified truck. This is a big project, but I'm totally ready. Every project has some sort of impetus to things that get you interested in building. This hand crank did it for me. I think if we build the whole truck to reflect this era, I think we come up with something really cool.
Look at that, just like a glove, Ian. Yeah, I'm a little bit relieved now that we got that cab on that chassis. Ian was talking about we may have to have cut that thing, and I was really reluctant on cutting that. I'm the type of person, I like things simple, I like things stock, I don't like them modified too much.
Once we mocked this thing up, it became clear that this thing was going to be anything but a restoration. We've got parts from like 4 different decades, and there's a lot of space to fill. There's so many different parts here, it could go in a million different directions. It's Don's pile of parts. We're gonna pull out each fender and clip it to the frame, see how it looks, and just kind of come up with a representation of what the truck's gonna be. Like if we did use these 4 members and we went back to the winch,
Yeah, I think that'll work.
I like how the line comes down into the winch. It looks like it's one piece.
Yes.
If we opened this up and created, you know, like that big crane shape. The whole deal is how this truck looks as a whole. And then finally, after moving the pieces around, you just know when you hit the sweet spot. I think we should go with that.
I think this is it.
Now that we got this thing mocked up, I'm ready to move on, really get started on this truck. Once Don and I got the basic structure of the boom figured out, it's time to bring it to life. I'm just building this perimeter frame around the base that's gonna be like a subframe that anchors that winch and also holds the uprights. Got a whole bunch of this C-channel from Industrial Metal Supply. It's 4" by 1.5. It's a 3/16 wall. I'm gonna build each side flat on the table, and I'll stand them up and then tilt them in and join them at the top. This boom needs to be strong, but it's never gonna pick up really heavy stuff. Because it's a hand crank winch with a pulley, it's got a weight limit. The end result will be that this will be a great rig for Don to use around the yard, around the compound. So the fit up here is pretty loose because I'm seeing like a big 1/4" plate coming out and making a nice gradual arc so that the hook is a little bit further out from the back of the truck. Once I got the boom structure on the truck, it's all about tying in the hand crank. I know I'm gonna have to build something off the front of this. I really like the idea of keeping this rustic old angle iron frame. It would be easy to just unbolt the winch and put it on something fresh, but the whole look of the truck is like old-fashioned. I'll just build a little discreet brace underneath to bolt it to, so it'll be just presenting, it'll be out in the open. And then I'll put a cross member under here that'll support the front of that. Even though we're basing this structure on what Don and I mocked up, I still am trying to bring some kind of a design element into it. The winch looks good there. The last thing for me to do is just mock up some kind of an end cap. All the tow trucks we're looking at seem to have this detail at the end where the cable came over and then had a pulley that kind of drooped down. So I'll make an oversized one of these cardboard deals. The big issue I'm having is this negative space with the plate on top. The fix may be to truss it out with some 3/16 flat bar on the outside of this whole thing. Like, come off of that plate and down, and then back, and then back. Once the structure of the boom was in place, I'm just thinking about designs that can crisscross this pattern. It's a pretty weird triangular shape, so I'm just laying out tape in random directions just to get an idea of how the space will be filled. I'm not really sold on this truss idea. I put in 3 cross pieces and felt like it was gonna work. I kept adding to it and it just got out of control. Move it, go on. Sorry, Charlie. I've built a lot of different gas tanks over the years, but for this truck, I got a really cool idea for like an old school oval gas tank. Let's see what happens. From the start of my interest in metalworking, I was really trying to build stuff from scratch, you know, by myself. The reason I started using found objects is because there were curved shapes of metal that were way more accessible. So I could get into the actual building of larger components instead of focusing on these small details on curving metal. Back in the day, they were making some cool stuff out of very basic materials, so I built the thing the same way. Kind of caveman technology, but it works. It's a stamped steel cap. There's a million ways to make a gas tank. This is one. You could just take the metal, tack weld it, roll it around. Instead of doing it that way, I got this slip roller from Woodward. I had been wishing for one of these for years. My plan is to make a full tube out of this sheet metal, smaller than this large radius, and probably right around this radius, hopefully. That way I can just kind of open it up, slide it into place around these 2 end caps, MIG weld it in place, and then TIG weld it so that it's sealed liquid tight. The next step is the inlet and the outlet. I put this little fitting on the bottom here, and I got this old gas tank. I'm gonna cut the filler neck off and put it on here. I wanted to make this tank and the brackets to hold it look like something you'd see on a vintage work truck. What I'm looking to accomplish here is match this radius with the mellow curve, and then I'm gonna pull it tight over a piece of pipe. That way I'll have more of an egg shape instead of a perfect circle. It just depends what you have to work with, but it was just easier to start from scratch because we had it custom built in proportion to this vehicle. That's what we got, dog.
Ian nailed it with that hand-built fuel tank. That is just so darn cool.
When he saw what I was building and how it was gonna add to the look of the truck, he was on board 100%.
It's interesting the way that ties in between the cab and the bed of the truck to have that space taken up by a fuel tank. It looks absolutely perfect and vintage for that vehicle, too.
It's little steps like this that can convert a man like that to the creative process. It's a small victory in this grand war. The next challenge is getting these running boards in place. They need a pretty heavy support structure that has to tie into the frame. I like these running boards. It's a really great running board, I'm not disputing that. My concern is the transition from the radius to the front fender detail. So I think I'm gonna end up building off of the running board instead of cutting it back. Don had a ton of this good used diamond plate. We're trying to decide what the finishing elements of all this bodywork was gonna be. And since he's got this stuff and color matches most of the rest of the truck, I think we're gonna use it. We're gonna put a diamond plate step here, and the other side, there's gonna be a diamond plate detail on the front bumper, and the whole rear of the truck is gonna be diamond plate. So I just built a little bit of extension off of this bedside just to come out past the chassis. There's 2 tabs under here that'll bolt the bed on. As usual, different ideas are spinning around in my head as to how to tie in this diamond plate with the rest of the body. Trying to put some elements on the side to coincide with the curves of the fender. I want the radius to match the rear of the fender, so I'm using the fender as a guide. My whole process is always use cardboard to mock it up, because it really just helps you visualize it. You could have sketched it out if you had the time. Instead, I just took a piece of an old box and put it on there, and I think it's cool. This is my whole process, and you know what? It's fun. This is the part I enjoy, is figuring stuff out. It's like feeling out the look of the vehicle. It works for me. Lovely. Next, we will cut a simple square cap. There's gonna be a big trailer hitch set up in here that's incorporated with the bumper. I'm not gonna really know how that's gonna happen until I get the trailer hitch from Don. So I'm just gonna tack this rear panel on and take it back off when I need to work on it.
The pipe that I brought in for Ian for this bumper on the back of this tow truck actually came off one of my other trucks.
Don was telling me about this cool truck bumper he had, and he brings it over. It's just a steel pipe with a trailer hitch welded to it, and I think I can make it work. You got your hoarder mentality, and then you got your artist mentality, and when they cross, you know, you come up with cool things like this. That's what I'm talking about, being open to the nuance. You know, an idea becomes a reality through a few different steps, and this is just one example of that. Don wants 2 trailer hitches. He's got one trailer that's heavy duty, it needs to be a little taller, so I just cut a hole in the pipe and added one more. This back bumper was a real pleasure to see finished. I was very satisfied with it. There's a lot of pieces on this truck we still have to connect. We're moving into the eye of the storm. After coming back from the truck show, I started talking with Don about finishing this project as far as paint and bodywork. At first, we were gonna just leave this truck bare metal, but Don saw this Packard I painted. It was black cherry, and he thinks he wants this truck two-tone, black cherry and flat black. I replaced the diamond plate on the side of the bed with a flat sheet. That way the whole bed can be painted one color. I really like the steps on the back side of the bed. That was part of what I was thinking with this diamond plate structure. So bent over a couple pieces of diamond plate, formed them around, and just let them flow into the rear Model A fenders. This is a problem area, the way the fenders slope down. I wanted to connect it to the rear of the bed. Gonna mimic that mirror image to the other side, the driver's side. Weld her up, put her on the road. We got a car to pick up. That'll hold her. Front running board's gonna be a bit of a challenge, but this diamond plate is here. It's used material, it matches the bed. Just gonna try to put a roll in it that will match the radius on that running board. Don really likes the old truck running board he had up front. So to make the diamond plate match, I'm gonna try to get away from this hard welded edge. I'm trying to make it look like this running board is about 20 inches longer, but it changes texture. There's gonna be a rubber element, I'm pretty sure like a tread pad up front where you get into the truck. But back here where it's all utility, I just want it to be super strong and have a radius that matches this front running board. The big missing piece in this whole equation is this area here. But the curve indexes just below the body and comes down to the running board. So now I gotta trim this top side to fit roughly, and then I'll measure out my flange to cover those holes, turn it back under like a hem edge, tack welder in. The 20 gauge sheet being super flimsy, you can see by putting these bends in it, it's very strong now. And that's cool. This side panel's gonna work. The real hard part is getting the running board to fit up with the front fender. So that's gonna be a pretty big deal to make that work, fabrication-wise. This thing is just pushing my skills to make something happen. Yeah, to try to create this weird, it's almost like a horn, like a bullhorn, right? A section of that, like a steer horn. And to create that really tight curve in one piece of metal would require a huge amount of stretching. So I'm gonna shrink the two insides of each curve and they'll lap over. This is the side profile of the wheel arch going down into the fender. And that's why I chose this method to put it together, because at least it draws a flowing line. The whole idea here is the next piece is gonna come off of this existing fender and just wrap right over it. So there'll be a seam about a ½ inch in. That's why I just curled that edge pretty tight. I've come a long way with this truck, but to me, it's all about the finishing details. If you can pull it off convincing, then it's a real winner. This rod, you can see, comes straight through. It drops down and into the bottom of the running board. And this little flange here just is what it is. It disappears and goes right under. I'm really happy with this. It's one of the main issues I needed to make work, and I think it came out fine.
The way he molded it in and blended it in, I mean, it just looks like it came from the factory.
All right, to start off the front end, I thought the radiator and grill shell would be the best place, start front row and center. We're on to the more enjoyable part of it, which is accessorizing. Don had a couple sections of a Model A rear bumper, so I shot him an idea of using those on the front of this chassis. Our front end design has two side pieces of existing Model A bumpers, so we're ending up with a space in the middle to fill. So Don had these stakes from the garden. Don had these garden stakes. I don't know what he was thinking, but you know, I'm always open to nuance, but I don't know if this tent stake is really the right choice. Sometimes when stuff doesn't look right, it just leads you to a better idea. I'm gonna cut off the front section of the frame, and I have an idea of a way to make this work. I had this super old school toolbox. It's definitely period correct. So maybe I'm just gonna make a little tray that I'll just hold the toolbox there. That's something a tow truck would have, you know? This toolbox came from the guy that taught me almost everything I initially learned with sheet metal work. I was working in roofing in New York City, making gutters, all kinds of decorative copper elements, and this was the dude's toolbox. It's legit. I like little details like this. It gives the project cool elements that have their own story. I got the headlights mounted on their stands, and it's cool too because it really does have a Model A feel. You know, looking at it from here, if you know the front fenders aren't Model A. But the grille, the placement of the headlights, the style of the headlights, and the curved fenders and running board, it's looks a little bit more updated than your 1923 C cab. For the windshield frame, Don had this really neat oval tube. I don't know what it's from, but I think it'll serve our purpose perfectly. On this cab, I have pictures I took from the internet, and it looks like the windshield is about this tall, but it just sits up inside. It's the weirdest thing, because you can see the roof is way wider than the windshield. They were never intended to match. It was more like an air deflect, or it was a wind shield. Just shielded you from the wind, and that's where the term came from. Well, I'm gonna TIG weld all this because it's gonna make a nice little weld bead. Hopefully I won't have to sand or do any detail work to this. It'll just be a nice stainless steel TIG weld. Looks like an old truck. So Don is gonna get the paint and all the final details on this project together. It's almost wrapped. I can't wait to see it finished.
Ian nailed this thing. It's unbelievable. The stuff that I gave him to work with, he knocked it out of the park. I mean, look at that truck. It is just absolutely beautiful.
This one was really getting to me. The mismatch of parts was bothering me to no end.
There's stuff from the 40s. There's stuff from the 30s. There's stuff from the 20s. And then the drivetrain and frame is from the 60s.
The whole challenge here was using the parts that Don wanted. The hand crank was really the impetus behind the whole thing. The truck was styled around that era hand crank, so that's my favorite part of the rig, and really without it, it wouldn't have been this truck at all. It went from a pile of parts on a pallet to an operating tow truck.
Ian had built Patty this electric dune buggy that she can drive around the compound here. She drove it until the batteries were dead. And then we went and picked her up. We put a hook on it and towed it back for her.
The whole thing here was getting Don his fantasy truck. I'm charged up and Don is stoked. Don added all the final details to really finish out this project. The wooden bed and that giant old school hook really give it that vintage feel.
Working with Ian on this project really opened my mind to a lot of things, and this project came out killer. I mean, it came out way better than I expected it.
Don's totally into this truck. He's got a huge stash of projects, and the possibilities are endless. My friend Victor is not the typical car guy. I've built more things for him than I can remember. Everything from custom cars to architectural elements. Nothing for him is ever stock. Victor comes in and he's all charged up. He's got this great idea. He wants to do another project, and it's a little different than what we've done before.
I know you don't use plans, but I even downloaded a set of plans. I want this thing just to be crazy. The other night I was thinking of a project that I need. I got a retail plant rental company. I need for my nursery to have like a little car spectacle, something that, just something like people would see like, what the heck is this thing?
If Victor wants a spectacle, he came to the right place. Yeah, I've seen pictures of this thing. I never knew what the heck it was called. So it's a little utility van, basically. I think the coolest factor about this whole build is it's like a 70s kit car, you know? And this is one of the things I've seen pictures of, but never seen one.
When I brought it to Ian, I knew he would make this thing work.
And they give you all the dimensions
All
and
the
the
dimensions,
specs.
but remember, like everything we do, this means nothing. This means someone has built something like this, so ours cannot be like this.
I think we're gonna take these plans and funkify them. We're gonna go full disco. I think it's gonna be cool.
I don't know what can we use. I don't know what kind of foundation or what is this.
This bust that I have has already been shortened, so it just might work out perfect.
Oh, dude.
See, somebody already cut the whole thing in half. They
That's
shortened
perfect, man. Yeah, no, now I get what you're talking about.
it. This is a 1968 VW bus.
So, Ian, I got one question. What the heck were you thinking when you bought this thing? What were you gonna do with
This isn't
it?
mine. This is for another client. He's almost as eccentric as you. So, I mean, this looks like a crazy clown car, but we got plans. My friend Mark brought this down from Canada. He's got a project that I'm building for him, and I'm only using the external sheet metal. So we're using the leftover parts. I'm gonna use the shortened chassis and modify it, and I just think it's really cool that nothing goes to waste.
You're probably gonna have to lengthen it though, right?
I
Or-
think so. This is too short. The main thing with this chassis is that it's all intact. I'll lengthen it and just come up with a couple dimensions on the body. You come back when I get this thing all chopped apart and we'll go from there. Let's cut it apart and make it into something better. I think anything could happen from this point on. He's got a set starting point, but who knows where it's going. Well, I'm just gonna cut through and see where it goes. Thank you, that's enough. Go on. See that? It's like slicing a loaf of bread. Same concept, only bigger. This isn't like a Beetle. This thing is heavy. It's obviously had the commercial vehicle in mind when they made this. It's some heavy metal. That must be why it was so hard to cut. You can tell this baby's got a lot of miles on it, but it's still ready for the road. It's our new flexible chassis design. It smooths out the bumps. This thing's ready to rock, baby. Fire it up. It's an old Volkswagen. I don't know what's going on. It rolls around, but it's easy to fix. That's the whole thing. The thing that's bugging me now is these snow tires. Picked out these tires and rims because they got that kind of old school look with the white letters. This is essential because, you know, you can start drawing your lines of what it's going to look like around the final tire diameter and width. So obviously it's looking like some kind of weird contraption. Put a little something on it. Get us in the direction we're going. This bus was driving around on snow tires and some weird worn out radials. So putting some kind of a custom rim and the low profile tires really adds to it. It's the typical hot rod formula. You know, change the rim and tire combo and it's a whole different ride. That's way better. And then I'm gonna cut the chassis and stretch it, figure out the wheelbase. But it's a good first day. I'll get this thing set up, talk to Victor when he gets back here. I think first things first, I've been looking at these plans and just trying to come up with a starting point. The cool factor in this is that I'm actually building the body from scratch. It's a super simple design, but I haven't done this yet. And that's really the thing. Looking at the way this thing is constructed, it was built out of panels of foam and then fiberglassed. But my idea is to build a perimeter frame, like a skeleton, out of 1-inch square tube. It's gonna be way easier for me to just frame this thing out. It'll look kind of like a bird cage, and then I'll skin it with aluminum sheet. The whole idea with this frame is that I can really gauge three-dimensionally what the rake is on these tires, how this looks side to side. That way it looks centered on the chassis. Once I have the wheelbase established, it's all about the roof height, the overall length of the thing, and most importantly to me is the angle of the roof and the angle of the windshield. This tube will represent the roof height. See where we're at. See, that gives it a definite rake. First order of business was definitely the look of a chop top. So the idea of the tail end being way high and the nose being pushed down, it's just, you know, that's the look. It already looks like a spaceship. It's a total moon buggy. I think I'm going in the right direction. You know, some kind of sci-fi cartoon, extraterrestrial vehicle. It's got that funky disco vibe. Those are the parameters. I used the engine hoist in the back, so I'll be able to raise and lower the rear roof height without having all that clutter inside. If I was building something right to the plan, I would be measuring. I'm trying to use the plan as just a baseline model and then mutate it from there. This is like drawing in three-dimensional. You know, if you had a CAD program and took it back to the Stone Age, that's what this is. You're out in the desert, thinking about weird stuff, you're on a lunar landscape, you got the vehicle for it. So it's really not about measuring, it's just about checking it out. So I think the whole layout of this body looks great. I'm committing to this framework with the 1-inch square tube. The wheelbase has got to be lengthened, so I'm going to stretch out the chassis and to go forward from there. It's a unibody, so the whole body is a tube structure that supports itself, but as soon as you remove that other 3 sides of the tube, you only have the bottom leg, and it's just a springboard. So my idea is to just beef the whole thing up. Instead of a 1x3 rectangle tube, I'm gonna put a 4x4 square tube that's gonna go over both of these frame rails. It's gonna hide the mismatch in the dimensions, and it'll be super strong. Hey, look, Ma, no chassis flex. A real frame. Now the suspension works instead of the thing buckling in the center. The projects I've recently accomplished with Victor were like all out, just go for it. And he was on board, so I'm really just trying to do something that kind of makes him stutter a little. Make him rethink that crazy potential that I have to offer. If he wants to push it to the limit, okay, I will. You can see that this looks great. There's like a very smooth surface. You're looking at the light reflections, and that's what I'm gonna try to maintain through the whole thing. Up till now, this thing's been a skeleton, right? Just conceptual. I had a couple pieces of cardboard on it. Finally getting these aluminum panels in place, you see it. 3-dimensional thing. It's an object d'art. The whole concept here is simplicity. If I can just lay this on and it looks decent, we're done. I think this is gonna work. Close the door. It's not gonna shut all the way because I still gotta finish the bottom edges. But the whole idea is to get this thing looking like a space shuttle. It's very thin. I'm screwing it down, which is putting little pressure points all around each fastener. The idea of a mirror straight body finish is no warpage, right? So I'm trying to figure out how to keep this material under control. Once I got one door skin put on, I knew this material was gonna work. I had to figure that out. The biggest challenge was in the nose. There was a lot more bent panels up front than there were on the sides and rear. The steel's gonna be showing all through here, but 2 aluminum panels are gonna meet on these corners. So I gotta come up with a pretty clean design. The nose of that is going to be created in one piece, and that's a series of a number of bends. It's going to come out of the windshield frame, turn down. It's 1 inch out, 1 inch down, 24 inches pitching forward, 8 inches down, and then 1 inch back. So this thing should snap into place once the sides are trimmed out. So now I can mark where it's gonna fit inside this upright. By bending one panel up, it just gives the nose a nice smooth look. Trying to minimize the amount of exposed seams, no lapped over joints. Then I'll just finish the edges up. I like everything about this. These look a little cheeky to me. Looks a little like The Godfather. That's the only problem I'm having with it. That round bumper and those little jowls. But all in all, this is what I was looking to build. Just in time for Halloween. It's gonna be great. So my next order of business is to get the rest of these body skins at least, if not permanently installed, at least very mocked up so that it looks like a box, and then hook up the controls and drive it. Hey man, just finishing up the last bit of this stuff. Good to see you. I fleshed out the interior with wood, made a seat. All the controls are hooked up.
Yeah, no, that's perfect, and it looks like it's really comfortable too.
Yeah.
And it adds to the flow. There again, everything's flowing, just the way I like it.
Victor came in and checked out the seat I made. Right on the money. He didn't have anything to say except yes. Now you can see the way I fit in it. There's headroom for me.
Yeah, no.
You're laying back and it's just enough. I got the steering all figured out. The clutch works.
Yeah, that thing's gonna be a trip. It'll do wheelies, right? For a one-man operation, what this guy does, I come in every couple days and it's holy. This guy must not sleep because he did 3 weeks worth of work on this thing in a couple days. That bitching in front, I love that. Now, practicality. I mean, you know, we're gonna use this, go with the theme of the 70s, and we're gonna use like the shag carpet now. Maybe what are we doing? Maybe some kind of ice chest or some kind of maybe other seating or maybe fishbowl, who knows? I mean, what the hell?
This whole thing started as like a utility cart with some signage. And Victor is really excited about my design and he's wanting to take it next level. Everybody's gonna look at it, man. I put it out in the parking lot just to see, and yeah, it's a total eye catcher. You know, it's one thing standing 5 feet away, but from the other end of the parking lot, it looks like a little space shuttle sitting there.
Well, that, and then
weird.
Once we throw these crazy colors on here and these lines, I mean, we have to, I'm talking 70s, man. I'll get you some bell bottoms and then we'll be back at it.
I'll just put 10 million screws in this thing, start it up, and I'll bring it over to your place. Probably be 2 days.
All right, let me know, and I'm ready for you. My boys are ready.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good one. Larry says the engine's a turnkey runner, so I just kind of did my little thing, made sure the carburetor linkage was free, the fuel pump was doing its job with the fuel, and just kind of checked the oil and made sure it was ready to rock. I'd like to take one moment to thank you, Mr. Larry. It's a great engine. But yeah, it's a turnkey motor, just like he said. Before delivery, Victor requested that I put a rear bumper on it. This thing is going to Victor's for all the finished bodywork and paint. He set up a punch list for me. He wanted a dashboard, a rear bumper with a trailer hitch, put an exhaust on it, and just finish up the paneling and headlights. And I guess he's got some kind of garden carts that they'll pull around with this, so he asked for a simple trailer hitch. Doesn't have to be super duty. I just set up that crossbar that hits the old, well, what you'd consider the frame. And the whole thing with this cage is I'm not welding the engine in. See, it's got little sleeves, so these are welded in, and then there's a bolt that holds the whole thing together. That looks perfect. Well, you might remember my friend Bill's famous scrap pile. So I found this chunk of steel. It just had a giant hole drilled in it that fit the trailer hitch. It's easier to cut this thing off, believe it or not, than to drill a new hole through this heavy material. It's like you're at the store. They have those little racks for the impulse buyers. Bill's whole backyard is like that for me. When I welded this big old plate on there, it looked terrible. The whole idea is making it look cool, right? Little weld, little plasma cut, it's a winner. Custom trailer hitch. Once I put the headlights in, you could see, you know, it had the face. It's a happy car. These are like early Volkswagen bus and bug headlights. That was the whole thing. It was a VW kit car. I just like Volkswagens. I could work on a million Thunderbirds and it's like, see ya. You know, everybody's got their thing. This is a hand-built Volkswagen-powered toy car. I mean, it's beach buggy, and that's cool. That's what gives it the character, man. Look at that, that's a happy car. It's like, Victor loves the project in this stage of finish. It's a blank canvas to him. You know, I was really concerned with the actual fleshing out of it, the building, and now it's time to get down and finish it up. All the interior details and then the paint. In an emergency, you will be warned. This van is going to be sitting around outside year-round. It's not going to be garage kept, so the air filters are directly exposed. Need something to keep whatever water out of the carburetors. Came up with a simple design to cover the top. It looks kind of like a little race car wing. Shrouds the side of the engines. You know, if you're driving by sprinklers, for instance, it's not going to go down the engine and ruin it. I guess the whole thing about this is it's a handmade piece of art, you know? Everybody's gonna dig it. Little kids, old ladies. It just looks like a giant toy car. It's gonna get a ton of attention. It's gonna make people smile. Victor's got his guys going for it. I guess he's got the buggy painted and he wants me to come over and check it out. Just like any custom paint job, this thing's all taped off. I guess he's done a lot of line work and everything. I can't wait to see it. It looks like it's totally 70s style.
Remember I told you we're gonna do this big old marketing thing. As I looked, I said it's gonna be marketing tool, but it's still gotta be cool. I started looking at it and then I was thinking 70s. In the core, I went beyond of what I needed to do for being a nursery golf cart / marketing tool. I took it to the limit of what it was. Instead of being just a square box, I said, wait a minute. I need to throw some lines in here. It needs to sparkle. It needs to be cool. You know, everything we build gotta be one-off, one of a kind, and over the top.
You got 3 colors, silver, gold, green.
We're still gonna put a clear coat on it, and inside the clear coat, we could add shades of pearl or metallic.
Victor was talking about some kind of panel paint job, you know, something 70s inspired. So as we start peeling back the tape and the paper, he's obviously had somebody who knows what they're doing lay this thing out. It's a pretty intense graphic, and I'm digging it.
And I had my buddy, Bob Kozlick, an awesome pinstriper. He came in, I gave him some thoughts, and he ran wild on this thing.
The only thing I'm wondering is, paint looks so good with the patterns, where's the sign gonna go?
Just like you do to me, I have you do something, you change it up on me, I'm doing the same to you.
We're just peeling tape, peeling back paper, looking at it, and we unwrap it, there's no signage. I thought we were making a custom sign, and all I see is these wild line graphics.
I was thinking about that, and I was waiting for you to ask. Remember, the doors open up and the sign is there, but I had a brainstorm where, you know, the buggies have this whip with a big old sign on it. So it's something that when you're driving, the sign's moving, and I could go up 5 foot, 10 foot, 20 foot.
This project started as an advertising scheme, and he's ended up with this crazy dune buggy van thing.
I still wanted a sign, but I needed the car or the vehicle or it to be cool. The it has this flag with my nursery ultra greens on it, and people are gonna go, what is it, you know?
Right, sure.
And I just say it's just a knit.
This thing is kind of an off-road vehicle at heart, and I think the idea of this flag banner thing is great. If you're out at the dunes, you're required to have a flag, and hey, it's representing the company. That's pretty cool.
Not only do they look to see the sign, they look to see this cool-looking vehicle and say, well, what is it? Well, it's a knit.
I don't know what Victor's talking about. I don't know what it is. This thing's a boonie bug for 2014. I'm totally on board with it. He's got a great idea for this sign. Now it's time to just do the finished details. So to wrap it up, it's typical process for Victor. He's got his interior guy, Lino. He's done all his projects. The guy's an ace, and I think he's gonna be the guy that takes the interior over the top.
Then I said, okay, this is natural. This is a golf cart. This is a nursery cart. We need indoor-outdoor carpeting. So I said, hey, Lino, can you put this as carpeting? And he goes, well, yeah, he can.
I think working with this AstroTurf might be new realms for Lino's career here. I guess Victor still is on the whole ultra greens kick. I mean, he wants this to be representing the business, so he's got like AstroTurf inside, still carrying the green metal flake theme inside with vinyl. All the elements are in place, and I can't wait to see what happens. From the onset, I knew we were building something with 4 wheels and an engine, and he just took it to the next level, typical Victor style.
We had no idea what this thing was gonna come out to be. It's beyond my expectations. It's not a show car. The little nursery car took it to the next level. This thing's gonna be all dirty and in the mud.
He lucked out with this engine. This thing rips. Everything has held together great. It runs great. I almost wish I didn't have to give it up. I was really getting attached to this thing. Being able to drive it on its inaugural run was really cool. Performed perfect. I think Victor's gonna take this thing more places than the nursery. So in addition to the paint, Victor went all out on the interior. He's got custom vinyl interior, two-tone, special seat, gold and green. He's got a custom steering wheel. They put AstroTurf inside instead of carpeting. I mean, this thing's looking good. It's buffed, polished, sign is on. This thing is a rockin'. It's great. Our first idea was like some kind of a wagon with a billboard on it.
But you know what? I got signs everywhere. But the car itself is gonna make the statement. And we just added the signs on, and you could take them off.
It really shows that Victor's idea was a good call in the end. This thing holds its own just sitting there in the parking lot. It's got the same colors as his fleet, fits right in with all of Victor's work trucks.
The reason why me and Ian hit it off so good is he's creative, and we're just started.
If this was just a small project, then he's up in his game and he's looking to build something incredible. I can't wait to see what's next.